Man who killed two women he met a day apart in North Florida bars was put to death. Starke. A man who killed two women after meeting them a day apart in North Florida bars in 1996 was put to death Tuesday evening. Michael Zack III, 54, was pronounced dead minutes after 6:14 p.m. following a lethal injection at Florida State Prison in Starke. The execution started promptly at 6 p.m. Zack was asked if he had any last words, and he answered, "Yes, sir." He then lifted his head to look at the witnesses and said, "I love you all." He was executed for the murder of Ravonne Smith, a bar employee he befriended and later beat and stabbed with an oyster knife in June 1996. He also was convicted and separately sentenced to life in prison for murdering Laura Rosillo, whom he met at another Florida Panhandle bar. Zack's 9-day crime run began in Tallahassee, where he was a regular at a bar. When Zack's girlfriend called and said he was being evicted, the bartender offered to loan him her pickup truck. Zack left with it and never returned. According to court records, Zack drove to a Niceville bar in the Florida Panhandle, where he befriended a construction company owner. The man learned Zack was living in the pickup truck and offered to let him stay at his home. Zack later stole 2 guns and $42. He pawned the guns. According to court records, at yet another bar, he met Rosillo and invited her to the beach to do drugs. He then beat her, dragged her partially clothed into the dunes, strangled her, and kicked sand over her face, according to court records. The next day he went to a Pensacola bar, where he met Smith. The two went to the beach to smoke marijuana and later she took him to the home she shared with her boyfriend. At the home, Zack smashed her over the head with a bottle, slammed her head into the floor, raped her and stabbed her 4 times in the center of the chest with the oyster knife. He then stole her television, VCR and purse and tried to pawn the electronics. The pawn shop suspected the items were stolen and Zack fled and hid in an empty house for 2 days before being arrested. According to court records, Zack, now 54, admitted killing Smith. He became enraged and beat her when she made a comment about his mother's murder, which his sister committed, Zack said. He said he thought Smith was going to another room to get a gun when he stabbed her in self-defense. Zack's lawyers sought to stop the execution, arguing he was a victim of fetal alcohol syndrome and post-traumatic stress disorder. The U.S. Supreme Court denied Zack's appeal for a stay of execution Monday afternoon without comment.